Hello everyone. In this lecture, we're going to quickly go over the exercises for the Python Crash Course section. Let's jump to the Jupyter Notebook and get started. Alright, so in the zip file that goes along with this course, the Python for Finance repo folder, you'll find the Python Crash Course folder, and inside of that, there's three files: the Python Crash Course Notebook, which went through everything that we just covered, and then there's two notebooks, the exercises and the exercises solutions. Go ahead and click on the exercises notebook, open it up, and then that will have the Python Crash Course exercises, and again, there's just different tasks for you to do. And the tasks are related to a little bit of financial data, but again, very basic stuff. We'll get into a lot more detail of finance data later on in the course. These are just basic tasks to review the Python Crash Course material. So given a price of 300, use Python to figure out the square root of the price. There's different ways you can do that, and you can see the expected answers here as output to the cell. So you would just fill in the cell with whatever method you thought was best. Task number 2, given the string stock index is equal to SP500, grab 500 from the string using indexing and slicing. Task number 3, given the variables, these two guys, use .format to print out this following string, so that's string interpolation and the .format method. Task number 4, given the variable of a nested dictionary of nested lists, what I want you to do is just basically copy and paste this, or you actually already have it here. Use indexing and key calls to grab the following items. So you have this dictionary, and there's actually a nested dictionary inside of it, and there's another key with a list and a nested list. So it's kind of a complicated exercise in grabbing keys and grabbing list indices. Don't worry, nothing in real life or in the rest of the course is going to be this complicated and this nested. This is just a practice to make sure you really understood what we were talking about. So use indexing and key calls to grab this value 250, which is yesterday's S&P 500 price, and the number 365 nested inside a list. So if we come over here, you can see there's 365 all the way back there. So I want you to grab those two values or elements using key calls and index calls. Task number 5, given some strings with this form right here, what I want you to do is create a function called SourceFinder that returns the source. So you can see here there's price, some price, then it says source dash dash on the source of whatever this data was. I want you to create a function called SourceFinder that when you pass this string here, it'll return back the string quandl. Task number 5 is to create a function called PriceFinder that returns true if the word price is in a string, and then returns false if the price is not in a string. So the in keyword is going to be really helpful here, and as a quick note, your function should work even if price is capitalized or next to punctuation. So you can see here that what is the price next to a question mark, that worked. Dude, what is price on all caps, that also worked. And the price is 300, that also worked. So again, the in keyword is going to be helpful there. Then task number 6 is to create a function called countPrice that counts the number of times the word price occurs in a string, and then account for capitalization and if the word is next to punctuation. So here we get a string that says, wow, that is a nice price, next to a comma, very nice price, price capitalized, I said price 3 times. If you pass that string s into the function countPrice, it should be able to count how many times price showed up. Then the last task, task number 7, is to create a function called avg_price or average price that takes in a list of stock price numbers and calculates the average. So the average is just the sum of the numbers divided by the number of elements in the list, and it should return a float. So we see average price 345. And as a quick hint to this one, if you want to get the length of a list, you can use the built-in len length function. So if you ask for the length of this list 1, 2, 3, 4, it returns back there's 4 elements. Or if you ask for the length of the list A, comma B, it returns back 2 elements. So that'll be useful for this particular task. Okay, and that's it. Best of luck on the exercises. Coming up next are the solutions to them.